Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS show with Jon Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Show. We are here for a 7-game Tuesday main slate. James, good sir, we had some good injury updates, some expected injury updates throughout the day. Some unexpected injury updates, maybe. Wemby not on the injury report. We weren't sure whether or not he was going to be available or not for this one. We got some fun matchups. I mean, for 7 games, honestly, for end of season basketball, as we come closer and closer, it's relatively clean, I think. I think we have an idea of where we're going here today.
Yeah, I mean, other than Clippers Wolves, which we still really don't know because there's 7 players in that game or whatever it is on the injury report. And 4 of them are that's the TNT game, by the way, tonight, the late night game. So we, who knows if we'll know, but other than that, yeah, we got the Rashawn Holmes news we needed earlier in the day.
The Celtics news.
The Celtics news broke. We got the Spurs news, obviously, with Wemby second leg of a back-to-back playing. So, yeah, I mean, I would say, obviously, we need to know who's playing in Memphis because they might only have 8 players. If they need one of their questionables to play in order to play tonight's game. Right. So between Jordan Goodwin, Lamar Stevens, Concher, and Scottie Pippen was upgraded to doubtful today. They need one of those players to be active.
And it could be a scenario where they just have, like you said, just an inactive player. Right?
Yes. Like if Goodwin is active and isn't starting, you're like, oh, he's not playing.
Right.
That's because
he's just there, right? I think we had that, it was either Philly or Miami a few years ago, where they had a guy active who was had a broken foot. He's like, no,
they need 8. It's like
he's there. Right? He will not see this player tonight, but he's there. So
he is active because they need to legally. That was peak COVID. I mean, that was peak COVID.
Yeah, but, and I feel like it was Miami, right?
Miami had a lot of. I mean, Miami's still doing stuff like that. So yeah, we need the Memphis news, late game news, but everything else is pretty straightforward and out there for us already.
Oh, there's some news right there. OG Anunoby will play tonight for the New York Knicks. So we got that news yesterday. We knew that he was nearing a return and was expected to play. Now, what does that do for the Knicks rotation? Does he immediately go into playing 38 minutes?
It's an elbow.
If he starts, I mean,
dude, Tibbs
doesn't care. Tibbs does not care.
Tibbs has been watching his cardio like a hawk this whole time.
We all thought Jalen Brunson tore his ACL, and the very next day he played 39 minutes. So, it really doesn't matter.
Have you seen the stat that's been floating around? I retweeted it. See if I can find it. Over the last, this was the amount. Not for 9 straight games, Josh Hart has played 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
This is how many players year to year have done that. 2024, just Josh Hart. 2023, no one. 22, no one. 21, no one. 2020, no one. 19, no one. 18, no one. 17, no one. 16, James Harden. 15, no one. 14, Jimmy Butler. So 2 of 3 have been Tom Thibodeau coach teams where a player has played 40 straight minutes in 9 straight games.
I thought you were walking me down to Allen Iverson, but yeah, the Butler was Minnesota Thibodeau, right? Probably.
No, that's Chicago. No, Chicago Thibodeau.
Chicago Thibodeau. Okay, right. He coached him twice. So
yeah, he's coached him twice.
And then he was like, "I am never playing for that guy."
yeah. So, Jimmy's like, "I'm going to go to a coach that lets me sit out half the year."
Yeah, exactly. Spolstra knows. Show up in June, Jimmy. That's really when we need you here. All right, let's get into the slate again. Philly, New York. Again, we just got that OG news right now. Philly's a 6-point home, or the Knicks rather are a 6-point home favorite. That's got a 208 game total though. Washington, Memphis getting 3 despite having no. I bet Washington -2.5 earlier today. If they lose to the team that Memphis is going to put on the floor, I guess there's some problem there. But Memphis is now getting 3, 219 game total there. Pacers, Thunder giving 6. Jalen Williams was at the morning shoot around. I don't know if we have any additional updates on his status here. 241 total in that game. Houston, San Antonio getting 3 at home, 222 total. Boston versus Utah. Boston on a back-to-back. Utah +6, 230.5 total. Minnesota and LA, as we mentioned. Clippers giving 6.5, 215. Then Milwaukee, Sacramento. Sacramento opened as a 2.5-point home underdog. They are now a 1-point home favorite. 235.5 total there.
Yeah, nothing new on the Jalen Williams front other than he partook in shoot around.
Anything you think we read into the Milwaukee Sacramento line movement here, or what do you think? That's just Vegas bettors taking the Kings at home here. Is that what we're looking at? You think?
Yeah, I think that's more so just people betting Kings at home, but because there's nothing suggesting even. I actually saw the injury report earlier, and it was
Middleton got ruled out today because he's
day
at this point. And then everybody else, Giannis is probable. So I wasn't sure if maybe there was some, Vegas sometimes knows before we do on someone being ruled out or not. So
yeah, I mean, there's nothing new on that front. I'm not going to read into it anything any more than unless we find out there's
Jockland Dale. We're gonna get jocked.
Now, honestly, the more I've thought about it today, I do think that Jeff Green's going to start.
I don't disagree with you. I think we saw that earlier this year, right? Jabari.
Yeah, we have.
And Jeff Green. So, and dude, you know what? Jeff still sometimes he sometimes has games, and we just like look at the box score at the end of the day. Like, all right, Jeff Green had 15 and 6 today. I guess we should have seen that coming, because he's an old man. He's got his bag of tricks with him here, though. Whether our 2 sleeper picks for tonight's slate, well, we're going to break down the entire slate. So, true seekers, stay tuned. Stay with us here. We're going to go through position by position. We're going to give you our favorite plays, values, busts, and all that other good stuff here throughout the next hour. And then, Des, happy to have you in the chat. If you guys aren't in the chat already, haven't tossed any likes on the show, please do so. Free way to help support us here. I want to throw some comments in the chat as well. We're happy to help you guys out. Lineup questions, betting questions. If you got them, we are here to answer them. And then before we do get into it, just one last time, I don't know what you guys are waiting for. Go sign up over on Better Edge. Go to fanstorm.com/pick'em. Join our Better Edge NBA contest for today. Get $10 free simply by signing up and registering. We'll get you guys going. We already have a good amount of people in that for today as well. The more people that sign up and join today's contest, the higher the prize pool. So again, fanstorm.com/pick'em or scan the QR code there. They give you $10 free. All you have to do is sign up. You don't need a credit card to deposit. You can then use that $10 to enter tonight's contest. Just $3. So go win yourself some money. Again, no credit card information needed. fanstorm.com/pick'em. And it's free today, as Grande just tells me. So even better, free contest for today. So not only that, you get $10 free and it's a free roll. So really can't hate that. So go sign up, fanstorm.com/pick'em. We do a Better Edge contest every single day. So you're going to get tired of hearing this from us. So make sure you go sign up and enjoy the contest over there with us here. Plus, March Madness is coming. We're going to do some bracket contests. You want to have that $10 free in your account so you can sign up for a March Madness bracket contest that we're going to be doing over there as well. So check it all out. All right, let's get into the slate. Happy to have everybody in the Coach Chris, rather. Have you made any bets yet? That's what I got to know.
I know for a fact because my dad, I set my dad up yesterday. They gave out $50 free on FanDuel Sportsbook for a $1 bet on the Pistons and just to score a point, Pistons and Hornets. So I hope Chris won some money through FanDuel for free. I know my dad. I told my dad wanted to bet the Hornets yesterday because my dad lives right on the border, Chris, of North Carolina and South Carolina, and he took the Pistons. So shout out to him.
Kim the man, Norm Powell, nuclear. He's gonna go nuclear again. Don't worry. We're all about it. All right, let's get into this here. Point guard position. Clean position.
I know, this is crazy.
When was the last time we didn't see any red at the point guard position? We don't get it until we get
November
down here, right?
November.
Yeah, opening night. I mean, so we got SGA, Brunson, Fox, Halliburton, all healthy, all playing. Some really good, dude. Fox at 9,100 against Milwaukee. I know you've talked about it. The defense on Milwaukee has certainly been better. Fox is coming off of a relative down game comparatively to the games before, still almost doubled. Yep. But still, I mean, this is still Damian Lillard type defense that he's going to be dealing with. The drop coverage obviously helps protect the rim a little bit better. But Fox at 91 and Halliburton at 9K, these guys have shown time and time again the ability to blow by those pricing ceilings. What are your thoughts on the 9K tier? And then obviously SGA separates himself. He's the cover of the show this morning, 10-5 against the Pacers.
I mean, obviously SGA is always in play, whether Jalen suits up or not. He's 1.7 fantasy point per minute guy without Jalen Williams. So SGA is an elite play if you get there, especially if Jalen's out. So no problems there. I think Brunson's going to continue to be a little limited. We've seen 29 and 32 minutes upon returning. If that trend continues, 35 minutes, not a bad thing, but OG back, what does that do to everybody on the team? So yeah. If you want to get the Brunson, that's fine. I don't disagree on the Halliburton front. And you've pointed it out a couple times, like he's just not making shots, but that's not a great thing for us right now when, right. Obviously he's going to break out of the slump. He's not going to shoot 40% on the year. I mean, he's a 48, 37, 85 splits guy this year, shooting 39, 17, and 93. Like, it's obviously there's going to be positive regression, but OKC's a pretty good defensive team, so I don't know if I really want to get there tonight. I'm good getting to Fox. Since the All-Star break, Milwaukee's 7th in defensive rating, to the point that you made. And they've obviously been good. They've also played really slow under Doc Rivers, 17th in pace as well. So, for a team that was playing in top 5 in pace under Adrian Griffin, they're now being better defensively and slower offensively. So
how you stop teams from scoring 20
it's how you,
points,
right? It's true. I mean, so the implementation of Doc's system has obviously kind of paid off in certain ways. They're 7-2 since the break. So I'm good with Fox. I'm good with Halliburton. They're just not my, first two choices. Like I don't necessarily have a ton of interest in the 9K tier unless Jalen Williams were to be ruled out. Okay. And then I would, consider prioritizing like an SGA Tatum type build. And I think you can do that tonight with the value. But it's not my like first place that I'm looking.
Sure. When we do go to the next tier, I know you mentioned Damian Lillard right now going nuclear the last couple of games here. You want a 10 p.m. hammer. If you get Damian Lillard here going for 64.55, definitely at $8,900, smashing price tags. Harden, Van Vliet 79, Maxi's there coming off of the game where again these two teams scored. Or Brunson, when he was in that game against Philly, they scored 73, 79. Maxey himself didn't do much in that game either. So dealing with some low scoring matchups, running it back. Derek White is here with no Jaylen Brown, no Kristaps Porzingis. And you had a tweet earlier today alluding to a certain player on the Celtics who benefits the most from those players being out of the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, Derek White is the priority for me. And I like Lillard a lot in tournaments. I think you could definitely get to Lillard. I think this is a fine bounce back spot for Harden if guys are out. Now he'll have to deal with Nickeil Alexander-Walker defense and Edwards defense and whoever else the Timberwolves can throw at him, which is not fun. Like NAW is nasty defensively. So like, that's not fun. But if Harden has a team to himself, I'd have interest. Van Vliet, obviously, team to himself. Essentially, the offense will run through him. No, I shouldn't say team to himself. Jalen Green is a big usage rate, but no Şengün. He'll have the ball in his hands a lot more. Derek White, dude, 11% usage bump, nearly 30% usage rate, and 1.57 or 1.51 fantasy points per minute. Leads the team.
Yeah. When
Horford, Brown, and Kristaps Porzingis are off the floor. Not Jason Tatum. Like Tatum leads in usage rate, which is obviously important in its own right. Derek White's right behind him in that category, but Derek White is gets the slight edge in terms of fantasy points per minute. And We saw it last night. The clear and like Derek White does not need to score 30 points to go nuclear because Derek White is a maniac in everything he does, and especially on the defensive end. And you're putting Boston in one of the best spots on the board, if not the best spot on the board. Utah 28th in defense since the All-Star break. They're 8th in pace since the All-Star break. It's just a lock and load for me. The recent ownership update over at fantasyalarm.com, Derek White's checking in about 19% raw like ownership.
Yeah.
That's just too low. Like truthfully, that's just too low because like Van Vliet, I get it. It's a great matchup. Surprisingly, John, I think you'd be surprised to hear this. Since the All-Star break, Houston is second in pace. It's a 10-game sample, and San Antonio's third. So like two like amazing pace teams in that environment, and that's great.
Yeah, I took the over assist on Fred VanVleet today. It was at 8.5 or 8 either. I actually think it was at 8, and I was like, yeah, like why not? Why not take the over on the assist here? You look at the numbers; he's going over pretty consistently over the last 5 games, and now he's got this spot against San Antonio with no Şengün. I kind of liked it for a lot here.
I will say though, if I'm picking between them, I would probably take the ownership discount on Derek White. Now, you don't need to technically because you can play them both. Derek White has multi-position eligibility. Fred, you could obviously play both them in your guard spots too. But just saying, $1,000 decrease going from Van Vliet to White, and Van Vliet's numbers look fine without Şengün. Yeah. They don't look Derek White fine though. Like they don't look like Derek White's do. And so I lean Derek White a little bit, but I like both guys.
Sure, I agree with you. Moving down underneath them though, is there? We had to mention on Keontae George in the chat here. Do you think George against Boston? I mean, we don't usually go much against Boston here. Any interest there at 6,500?
I would say he's an interesting tournament play, but the one downside to the Keontae George thing is that Jrue Holiday and Derek White still exist in the world. Like both those guys are active. It's not like Jaylen Brown's a good defender. Kristaps obviously a great rim protector. So is Luke Cornett and Xavier Tillman, who's why Boston went and got him. So it's a tournament play. Getting Boston on the second leg of a back-to-back where they had to play. I mean, Tatum was in. They had their starters in until like 2 minutes left in that game last night. So like full capacity minutes for the great Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard. So yeah, I mean,
Sam Hauser last night, dude.
It's crazy. He ripped a showdown win away from my soul. So I'm just
sad.
Me and 64 of my best friends fell to 64th or 65th because that last Sam Hauser 3 that they called the timeout. So it was a lot of fun. I'm okay with Keontae. Like, would you rather play Jrue Holiday on the flip side without Brown, Porzingis, or Horford, or would you rather play Keontae George?
No, I don't think so. I think I'd rather play the other guys there over Keontae George. So,
Drew, I'm asking Drew. Okay, how about this?
Yep.
Rank Jrue Holiday, Keontae George, Tyus Jones. They're all in the same tier.
I think I still have probably George second there. I might go as they're priced. I
think I have Tyus first.
Okay.
With Rashawn Holmes out. I think the minutes are just going to be as secure as they've been. So I think I would go Tyus first. I'd probably go Holiday second, and I'd probably go Keontae third.
I look at it more, and definitely can happen. 16 assists is a large number to repeat, right?
Right. He's also been, like, if you look a few games prior, 17, 14, 15, 16, like 5 of his last 12 games or so.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't disagree, but I don't think it hurts with the move of like Jordan Poole to the bench. Now you have the ball just in Tyus's hand more. I like the spot for Washington. If they're going to play these guys like 35 plus minutes, all their starters, then I think there's definitely intrigue there.
Okay. I can certainly get behind that if you want. Where are you going for the 5K and under tier? Any value point guards for you tonight?
Do we play Giddey? Is Giddey contingent on Jalen for you?
No, I don't know. I wrote up his PRA today for underdog. It was 23.5. I took the over. So I could get there.
He playing Josh Giddey.
He fills the stat sheet, dude, even when he doesn't play minutes, right? So it's like when he plays minutes, he explodes. When he doesn't play, for the most part, he's going over. So
I know it's just frustrating knowing that like
high total, it all kind of fits like a Giddey game. So defensively, there's no one on Pacers that are gonna like exploit him, really, right? Like who's gonna Nembhard gonna take it to him? I mean, I'd be more worried if Mathurin was out there, who I know can be a bucket, right? Like, who's cooking Giddey to get him off the floor tonight?
I mean, a lot of people. I mean, good. He is. I mean, we can get some just plus athletes that probably don't play a lot of basketball that could probably cook Josh.
Probably true. All right. Anybody else? We talked Damian Thompson last night. You still in there at 49?
Yeah, him and Giroux would probably be the two guys that like we just kind of have to take a look at. Like, I don't know what if Goodwin doesn't play, Giroux, could he start? I don't know. I mean, Kennard's active, so like Kennard's starting. Basically, we know 4 starters, right? We know Kennard, LaRavia, Aldama, Gigi.
Yeah.
And then who's their 5th starter is, I guess, the question. Trey Jemison, Lamar Stevens, if he plays, Giroux. But either way, if Contra doesn't play, and Goodwin doesn't play, then like Giroux is just in the rotation. So 5,200 is fine. Amen Thompson, we said he might start last night. I've kind of pulled back on that. I think it's going to be Jeff Green personally. And then we're going to see Thompson off the bench.
He should still get some run, right?
Yeah, no Whitmore, and no Şengün. So like he's probably their 6th man regardless of situation. So 4,900. We just saw a couple of games ago what the upside can be of Amen Thompson.
Right. Anybody else on here at point guard for you?
Slight hat tip to Case and Wallace. If there's no Jalen Williams, he'll probably start.
Okay. Going on over to the shooting guard position, we have Edwards at 97. We'll have to see if he's in or not. And if you plug him in your lineup, you got to have some ability to move around. Fortunately, there are 2 10 p.m. games here, so can at least get him in there. Paul George, 8K, sort of the same scenario, do you think? Currently questionable, coming off 51 fantasy points. Then you got the Houston guys in that matchup in the mid-tier.
Yeah, I mean, these injuries are definitely legit for Paul George. This is the 2nd knee injury he's had since the All-Star break, so this is not great. And he's coming off, didn't play last game, but the 2 games or 3 games prior, I should say, 36, 39, 40 minutes for a guy coming off a knee injury. He's now re-aggravated that knee, right? So that's obviously a real concern for them, but this is 3 versus 4 right now in the Western Conference, so it matters quite a bit. We'll see. Edwards, that I always assume Edwards is going to at this point, like, dude, he broke his ankle and then played 40 minutes.
Right.
Like, it just is what it is. And now it's a shoulder, which we pointed out. The ankle injury, apparently, he's healed from his ankle turn, and now it's a shoulder injury. I assume he plays as well. I'm definitely interested in Edwards. I think I definitely have interest in the Minnesota side. The Clippers, since the All-Star break, have definitely slowed down a little bit on both ends of the ball. 22nd in defensive rating, too. So I could definitely get behind some Anthony Edwards, team to himself. They're still, at the end of the day, like whether Rudy Gobert and Kyle Anderson play, there's still no Karl-Anthony Towns. So it's still like Edwards team to himself situation. So I would definitely have interest there. Paul George. And I think like one of the biggest question marks for me today is Jalen Green. Because like, I understand like he has like these games where he goes crazy. He has like really good numbers with Şengün, Whitmore, Eason off the floor. 35% usage rate, 1.2 fantasy points per minute. Dude, he's almost 8K.
Yeah.
And like he's so up and down. Like it's so even with guys in, guys out, like where do you sit on the Jalen Green, like on the fence with Jalen Green?
I mean, I think he's a great tournament play. Obviously, the minutes
Yeah.
are locked in, and if he hits, he doesn't even. I said if he hits threes, when he hits his threes, he gives you 50. When he doesn't, obviously, the production's not as there. But like steals have been pretty consistent. He's going to give you a couple of rebounds, couple of assists. So it's all about his 3-point shooting that night. I mean, he's definitely priced in a spot where you don't need to go there. $7,800, right? Like there's where Jabari's cheaper, Van Vliet's in that same range. Guys we like a little bit more, so certainly don't have to go there. Does OG coming back change your opinion on Josh Hart now?
My opinion doesn't change. He's going to play all the minutes, but I don't have a lot of interest at 72 with OG.
Okay. Anybody else in the mid tier for shooting guard for you?
I feel like Sexton could be dropped in that Keontae George like tournament bucket if you wanted, just given Boston does still have their two best perimeter defenders, but maybe one of them guards Jordan Clarkson tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that means Keontae or Colin Sexton have. Yes, Jalen Green is having a child with a 39-year-old that has a child that is the same age as Jalen Green.
Yeah. Yep, she was on NBA Wives, from what the social media tells me. So
yeah, her son is Jalen Green's age.
Yeah.
Salute to them. Congrats. Being a parent's cool. So salute to Jalen Green. Jordan Poole tournaments. Malik Monk in tournaments for sure. You have to assume Malik Monk plays 30 minutes. If Keegan Murray doesn't play, they'll go to that Malik Monk lineup super early if Keegan is out.
Just address a quick question here. Obviously, if you hit it already, apologize. I was kind of scrolling through. Van Vliet's not going overlooked. He's like the 5th highest rostered player on this slate here, Nick. So
yeah, he's definitely.
And then did you do the Kennard versus NEW? Not yet.
No. Okay. I mean that's just hard. Like the answer is yes if people are. We're letting Jalen live, dude. We just say congrats.
Jalen can do whatever he wants, man.
Yeah,
no problems here whatsoever with Jalen.
Salute to Jalen Green. Yeah, salute to him. We're letting him live. I just said congrats. He's a parent. It's cool being a parent. Anyways,
because you won't know the NEW stuff.
Yeah, right? Like obviously NEW he played 40 minutes the other day with everybody out, but we don't know if Kyle Anderson's in or out. We don't know if Rudy Gobert is out. So that's obviously, we don't know if Monty Morris is out. So those are all things that unless we get early, then it's Kennard just by default. Unless you want to play that, like, have pivots game by, you could pivot to Norm Powell, have $300 to pivot to Norm, or pivot to someone in Milwaukee, Sacramento. So that's a decision you're going to have to make. But if you don't want to make that decision, Kennard just by default.
Sure. Anybody else on here value shooting guards for you?
I mean, Norm. Neesmith played a boatload of minutes, sans Ben Mathurin. So he made four threes the other day, starting to make threes again. So if you want to play Neesmith, he's going to play a boatload of minutes. If Concher plays, I don't hate getting to Concher. Obviously, the NAW news, NAW play contingent on news. What do we think Boston does with their starting lineup? It doesn't even matter. What do you think they do with?
I think it has to be Hauser.
Hauser's minutes are similar, you think?
Yeah. Because I mean, if they went double big, it would be Xavier Tillman, Luke Cornett,
and then Tatum at the 3 with the guards.
Right. So, but
and you're not going Pritchard. And you're not going Pritchard because yesterday you had Drew out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to go 3 guards here.
But you could. I mean, we could see that for
Brissett.
Yeah, that's true. We could see the 3 guard thing for stretches though, John, because when you think about the way that Utah's running their lineup, like they're running 3 guards.
Yeah, I just don't think that ends up being the rotation they would use. I think Brissett probably gets minutes tonight. I would see Hauser starting. The problem is, like, they did do the double big with Tillman and one of the centers before, but now they're without both centers. Like,
I know.
fully expecting Cornette to be the starter here tonight.
Yeah.
So I would have to
Agreed.
the only other backup big they have, unless they went Queta as the backup and started Tillman at the 4.
Oh, sheesh.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
Utah plays big though, right? Like Walker Kessler's back. Like they have Collins. Like,
well, they started Sensabaugh again last game.
yeah,
And Sensabaugh is a guy who can space. So I don't think they would go double big. I kind of agree that it would be Hauser or
I think
Brissett
it's
would be my
Hauser.
guess.
It just makes the most sense.
And he probably played himself into it, right? Like last night, just
Yeah,
like give him
32 minutes in the
another.
shots. Yeah,
They did go. So to your point, the Utah starting lineup last game was George, Sexton, Sensabaugh at the 3, Collins at the 4, Kessler at the 5. Now, Clarkson played 30 minutes off the bench. Walker Kessler played 24. So I guess Boston could elect to go double big, but that's I don't know
we'll
if they
see.
need to. But Hauser, all to say, Hauser's 43.
And I think Hauser gets minutes no matter what.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, he played 30 off the bench. He played 32 minutes off the bench last night.
Yeah, yep, agreed. Small forward, you mentioned already. Tatum's here at 97. No Jaylen Brown, no Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, he'll shoot. We talk about this. Boston does not play great on the road usually either. So like, I could see Utah going out here and just scoring and being competitive. And Boston's on a back-to-back, so maybe they're a little lazy with it. And Tatum takes 25 shots. So definitely one of the top spend-ups, I think, for me tonight for sure.
Yes.
And then we get into the mid-tier. A lot of guys we talked about. We're both big Denny guys here tonight at 7K. Rebounding's been great. Scoring's been pretty solid, consistent there. So you want to go Denny at 7K in the mid-tier, 100% in on that. Any other mid-tier small forwards for you?
Nothing that really stands out. Should note Keldon Johnson downgraded to questionable with an illness today. So, Champagny and Sohan bumps there, obviously, but the Champagny stuff is a disaster. Like, he played another 28 minutes last night. That's really great. He's like the last person I want to play. But it is obviously a really good spot. I would say nothing else in the mid tier. You just get to kind of like this value-ish tier. LaRavia 52 is going to start and play as many minutes as he can. He gets a big usage bump with Jaren Jackson off the floor. Corey Kispert's really popular tonight. He almost played 40 minutes the other night, Corey Kispert. So good.
So on DraftKings, they do the Tuesday 3 promo. Yep. Those of you who now are in North Carolina have access to that. Corey Kispert's plus 750 to hit the first 3 of the game. If I'm betting it now, assuming he starts. So I think if he's in the starting lineup, then that number might move. So I'm just gonna go toss the money on Corey Kispert to hit the first 3 tonight. And then I got $1 per 3 hitting that game, and that team is just gonna shoot a lot of threes in that game. So hopefully they hit them. But that's where I went tonight.
Yeah, I mean he's there's nothing suggesting he wouldn't start.
Right, Rashawn Holmes is out already. So
and Shamet, who's the other guy who's like randomly started in this recent stretch. No Shamet, no Holmes, no Bagley, dude. And this is like bringing it back to like Tyus. They're just going to play these top 6 guys like all the minutes. They didn't play Omayuri any minutes. They played Baldwin like 10 minutes last game. Anthony Gill played 1 minute. Johnny Davis played like 10 minutes. They are just going to play their top 6 all the minutes, and Memphis has nobody active. Like, they don't even have Jaren Jackson. They don't have Vince Williams. Those are their best 2 players. Reigning Defensive Player of the Year. Vince Williams, their best perimeter defender. Like, they don't have those guys. So I know it's a terrible pace down spot for Washington, but sometimes minutes trump that. And, like, if you're going to get 35 plus minutes out of 5 starters, like, there just has to be just across the board.
Faisal wants to know, Ben Shepherd still playable?
No, he played 11 minutes last game. Shout out to Ben Shepherd. Salute to you, my friend, for that one time that we played you and had not a lot of fantasy points. Not playing Ben Shepherd.
Not a lot. You mentioned Kispert there. LaRavia is also right here at $5,200. So
Yep. Yeah. I mentioned he has the second biggest usage bump on the team. Sans Jaren Jackson.
Agreed. Anybody else down here for value? Small forwards.
Dylan Brooks, 43. I know it's gross. We don't want to do it, but he's 4,300. Good paced environment. He's actually almost at a fantasy point per minute with the guys out tonight.
Sure.
Eason Shingun, and
Anthony, what's our thoughts on Oubre here tonight?
he is a player in the pool that plays for the 76ers.
I mean, in the 79 to 73 game, he did manage 41 fantasy points. So
I know, and he's he's been good, dude. He's been good. Undoubtedly, he's been good. Now, last few games, no Tyrese Maxey. Are we still getting 18, 19, 21, 20 shots, you think, out of him? Possible. I think it's less likely, but I think it's possible. I'm fine with it. I think there's better value, but fine with it.
Yep. Power forward then. Giannis here is 11-5. Again, I said last time on the show, if I could build a lineup with Giannis tonight, I would. I really think this is a ceiling spot for him in Sacramento. Value has to be found. It certainly is a little bit difficult, and we did like some of the fair and balanced builds were there. Des, 100% in on Norm anyways, I think. But obviously big help if PG and Kawhi are both out. And Grande is always playing GG Jackson.
Dude. Don't just Grande always playing GG Jackson.
Blanket statement for the show, guys. Memphis may have 7-8 active players tonight. So that's the minimum. So yes.
Against Washington.
So we're playing it when the Memphis starting lineup comes out, all of those guys are in play for us tonight because they may only have 3 subs. So and
maybe only 2, depending on who's like active, right? Like we have 4 active, we have 4 questionable doubtful tags. Like they might not actually even play everyone. So
yeah.
Yes, blanket statement, GG. Just a note for everyone that is looking at the fantasyalarm.com ownership. There is a name mismatch that we have to get fixed. If you see a dash, I put this in the Discord. There is a Memphis player with a dash. That is GG Jackson. So he's checking in at about 16% rostership tonight, according to our last update. I will try to get it fixed, but no promises for luck. It's a name mismatch. His name is Gregory. One site calls him GG, one calls him Gregory. It is what it is, but just keeping that in mind for those looking at our ownership percentages.
Yep. After we get down to the mid-tier range here, I mean, obviously Kyle Kuzma would be a lock and load play at 8K. Naz Reid has been undeniable the last couple of games here. He's at 7K. Jabari, obviously, we're expecting big things from at $6,600. So thoughts on the mid-tier?
Well, first, did you mention Kuzma at the start of that? I was getting a text from my wife that my dogs just threw up all over my couch. So
nice.
That's a fun one. It's good.
Couch covers and no couch covers.
Do you have couch covers?
Yeah, dude, I have 3 cats and a dog. Of course we have couch covers.
I have 2 dogs. I've never thought about couch covers.
Yeah, they're it's not like plastic, but it's like a waterproof animal couch cover.
I was thinking like plastic.
No,
like grandparent, like you're like the traditional like grandparents. You go sit down, you're like,
no, dude. They make like pet furniture cover stuff, so in case things like that happen,
your wife is like very like
she works in the veterinary field.
Yeah,
she understands these things.
Yeah, she's way better than us.
Sure.
So no, I do not have pet covers, so my couch is ruined.
Well, if you did have pet cover, you'd just be able to pull that cover right off, and your couch is still okay. So
send me some good pet covers.
Okay, in the future.
For my next couch, I guess. Okay. I think Kuzma is one of the better plays of the slate overall. $8,000, really good eligibility. Obviously, he's going to start at center. There's just no answer they have, like whether it's Jemison starting. This is the reason why I'm like not sold on Jemison starting. Kuzma start. What are they going to do with Jemison against Kuzma? Like that's just a nightmare for them. So I think Kuzma. Like they would have Jemison guarding Koulibaly in that.
Right.
Like, you can't have him guard Kuzma. So I love Kuzma no matter what in this spot against Memphis. He's one of my favorite plays overall. You could definitely, I think Collins is a little bit interesting going up against what Boston has in the front court. Like,
Yeah, Tatum still exists though. So.
I know, but we're going to see, I mean, they're starting Kessler, but he played 24 minutes. Like if Collins plays, I mean, Collins is going to get a bunch of run without Kessler at the 5. Like
Sure.
that's so I'm okay with Collins. Siakam, we just saw a question steal at 73. I mean, like it's a good price like for the player that we've seen in the past, but it's been very inconsistent production, just kind of blanket statement for Indiana in general, right? Like they've just been super inconsistent. It has not been that historic offense than it was in the first half.
Yeah.
And we thought it would be better with Siakam or just par for the course, and it hasn't.
Yeah, they've
So,
been down obviously players, and then the Halliburton just hasn't been in
right,
sync really yet. So
right. And Nas Reed, to your point, is like if there's no Gobert, I'm going to find a way to get to Nas Reed tonight
yeah,
because I mean, again, 3 versus 4 matchup. They need to win. He played 40, started and played 42 minutes, and again, Western Conference matchup that matters in your seating, and he played 42 minutes. Like basically didn't come off the floor until
right.
the last minute or two of garbage time. So Nas Reed was actually pacing for 44 minutes in that game, right? So if there's no Gobert, and that's something that we can get ahead of and find out early, yes, I will be playing a lot of Nas Reed.
Yeah, Gabriel, listen, definitely like Harden. Again, the problem is that those are two 10 p.m. games, so you got to be able to go out there and really build some lineups that give you the flexibility to move guys in and out. So, Harden's certainly fine there. Any other power forwards in the mid tier? I mean, again, Jabari is there at 66, Aldama 61. We talked Gigi already. Sohan 59. Maybe no Keldon tonight. What are your thoughts here at the power forward spot for some value mid-tier plays?
Yeah, I mean Jabari's definitely in play. It's interesting. He does not like 0.9 fantasy point per minute guy, 18% usage rate with Şengün, Eason, Whitmore off the floor. Like just doesn't get a big boost. But I mean, obviously, former number 2 overall pick, super talented dude, can space the floor, can rebound, can block shots, can do like everything. So can definitely get to Jabari. I'm pretty sure Precious is dead. At least the days of 36 to 39 minutes are dead for Precious with OG's return. Even if OG's limited, so can't get to Precious really. Aldama definitely.
I wouldn't say Siakam is a role player there, Gabriel. So
yeah, Luka's a bad play too.
I was gonna say, I think you said Luka was a bad play yesterday too, Gabriel. So
Aldama 61 is definitely interesting with a short rotation. If like Keldon sits, like there is a little bit more intrigue for me for Sohan. He's been solid lately. Nothing like to write home about, but he's been fine. GG is a priority for me in that. I would have a lot of interest in Lamar Stevens, John, if he started tonight. The minutes have been great for Lamar Stevens. The shots have been pretty great for Lamar Stevens as well. I mean, he's a pretty good fantasy per minute guy when he's gotten the opportunity. So
yeah, better matchup for him against Washington than OKC, obviously.
For sure. I'm interested in Lamar Stevens if he starts.
Okay. We talked Gifford already, obviously. Then there's the Jeff Green story here. Played 27 and 31 minutes, obviously getting starter run early this year, 29 and 31 minutes. Played 38 minutes against Portland, not his greatest effort in that one. 34 minutes here, 24 fantasy points against Milwaukee. So the majority of time where he's gotten increased playing time, he's generally paid off, the salary there. So thoughts here for him against San Antonio?
I wish it wasn't 4,500. That's my thoughts. That's really all I got for you.
Anything else for value power forwards then? You mentioned Obi Toppin last night.
Nah, I'm definitely a little more off that. There's like not a lot of value. I would say Brissett, O'Shea Brissett. That would be my value power forward.
Okay. And then did we get a Keegan Murray update? We mentioned Trey Lyles this morning.
He talked to reporters. He was there at shoot around, and I watched his interview, and he said that it's whatever. He was like, it looked worse than it looked pretty bad. It's feeling whatever though, was like the quote that he said. So like, what does that mean? Like, he's just like not, if you ever like listen to Keegan Murray talk, he's just like not somebody who wants to talk to the media. Yeah. You just don't get anything from him. If he's out, I mean, you could definitely play some Trey Lyles.
Center, we didn't skip Wemby on purpose there. He's right here now.
He's
Center only.
only
Wemby,
center. Yeah,
actually.
only center.
Only center. So we didn't. That's why we didn't skip him, because he wasn't there. 27-14. First game back, plays 31 minutes. Second leg of a back-to-back here. He's not on the injury report. Do you have any concerns about limitations?
0.
Okay.
None.
Is he your lock at center, or do you look at Sabonis here?
Well, the overall lock is whoever starts for Boston would be but I mentioned it. Houston's second in pace since the All-Star break. So like this is a great spot for Wemby. And then what is conversely, like, not that Şengün was, could defend Wemby necessarily, but like he's a big body, could put him in foul trouble. What are they gonna do? Like, what? Jabari? He's probably like the lankiest guy they have. Like Jeff Green's gonna try to. I think we had a comment from Cam like to start the show about Jeff Green guarding him. And then what if Landale's in there against?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't think they would go more to Landale, just get a bigger body out there?
Well, I don't know. I don't think they necessarily need to. Like, is Jeff Green even your starting center if it's Jabari out there?
No, Jabari is, but I mean, still I don't know, size.
Well, Jabari's 6'11" and like super lanky, so I don't know. Ultimately, I don't think it matters. Wemby is a 1.7 fantasy point per minute guy. Doesn't hurt if Keldon Johnson doesn't play because 25 shots last night for Wemby, and now there's possibly no Keldon. Like, could be another 25 shots. Teams number 2 and 3 in pace since the All-Star break. Like, I love it. And I mean, it's a positional thing now for Wemby, in my opinion, but not a soul is playing Victor Wembanyama tonight.
Sure. And
I think there's probably a little worry to the field, like second leg of a back-to-back. They could also put Dylan Brooks. That wouldn't be surprising because Ime's crazy and so is Dylan Brooks. So, 1% rostered for Victor Wembanyama tonight. Yeah. And to Anthony's point, like Sabonis, 13%. So like, there's always a thing where like, yeah, I agree. Sabonis is a great play. He almost went for 70 against them the last time. So many triple doubles. Hasn't had like as many lately as he has had all year. But we talk about it all the time. If you want tournament leverage and you are looking to actively spend up on somebody, who breaks slates pretty often? Victor Wembanyama. And how you can break a slate? If Victor Wembanyama at 1% plays 32 minutes again tonight and is in the game with in top 5 pace, 2 teams that aren't playing good defense, I'd say it all the time about Houston on the road versus Houston at home. Like, they're just in more competitive games. So way to be different tonight is definitely playing Wembanyama. The safer option, no doubt, Domantas Sabonis. Like, undoubtedly Sabonis. But it doesn't, and then if you don't want a double center, you just play the Celtics starter.
Sure. We go down into the mid-tier again. We've talked Kuzma and some of these plays already, but as you mentioned, it's sort of about figuring out where Boston goes. That's a 9:00 game. I think we're both like relatively confident Luke Cornett is the guy here, though, right? He was earlier this year when they were out, played 30 minutes, gave you 30 fantasy points against San Antonio. He's largely been their backup center when one of those guys has been out. He gave you 40 against Toronto.
Yeah, the Toronto game. I'll never forget that Toronto game. He was like announced the starter like 2 minutes before lock. I scrambled and I know it was the legacy game of all legacy games for the Murder Cornet.
But he's been like productive-ish when in the game. So I think Cornett starts tonight. So you're getting a 4K starter. You plug him in and you kind of build around him with the rest of your team tonight.
Yeah, I put it in the Discord where I broke down the fantasy points per minute and usage rates for Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Tillman, it's only a 20-minute sample, so like it's not anything. Tillman's at 1.02 fantasy points per minute with those guys out. Cornett's at 0.98, like in a much bigger sample. So if you're telling me Luke Cornett has a chance, one, to like get 30 minutes or somewhere near 30 minutes and is essentially a fantasy point per minute guy, then I'm just going to plug that chalk in and move on for the rest of my life.
Right.
If I'm playing 1% Wembanyama, I don't, it's just, Des, there's no Kristaps and there's no Al Horford tonight. So like, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but they're down their top 2 centers.
Yeah, I don't think he plays less than 25 minutes tonight. They're down. Both centers are out. So
and dude, like when they acquired Xavier Tillman, it's not like Xavier Tillman's knees just magically got better. Like Xavier Tillman's had knee problems like the entire season. He has not played for them.
Tillman didn't play last night a minute. Didn't play a minute last night.
And since getting there, he hasn't played more than 18. So like, can he be extended? It's possible, but it's just like far and away just been the guy that they've plugged and played more, and that's just seems to be the route that they're going to do.
Sure. All right, let's get a lineup going. I'm just going to plug Cornette in here and figure out where we're going next. What's your next move?
Derek White.
Derek White works for me. Get him in a shooting guard here. 65, 51. What's your spend tonight?
Gigi.
Oh,
you said spend.
We'll go Gigi next. That's fine. Gigi works.
We're just built. Tatum. Tuesday night in Utah here, John. You know, Tuesday night in Utah.
It is a second night back to back in Utah, though.
Not worried about it.
Not worried about it.
Did you see the Missoula comments after last night's game? He's gonna get Jason Tatum so many shots tonight.
All right, what's the next one here? You like Tyus?
I think that there's Kispert for sure. I think there's viability to any and all Washington guys if you want.
Okay.
Like if Tyus is fine, obviously like getting to Van Vliet could be an approach we want to take. Drew Holiday is interesting because he didn't play yesterday, so there's like less minutes, less tread on the tires.
Van Vliet a point guard. That's 54.50 for a guard into Utah.
Hauser.
Just go full on Celtic stack here.
Dude, they're down three. Players. Like 3 of their top 6. You know, like we say it all the time. Boston does not run a deep rotation at all.
They don't. That's true.
And when you're down 3 of the top 6, like, you know, Jabari. I was gonna say I was looking at 66.
So you got Van Vliet, White, Tatum, Jackson, Cornette, Hauser, Kispert, and Jabari there. No dollars left over.
If you wanted to do like, can you do like go down from Van Vliet to Tyus and see what we can get at on
83 or 67 if we did Jabari at forward instead of
Kuzma. That's a Kuzma, Tyus Kuzma, and then you have 3. You're basically
Washington, Memphis, and Boston.
Right. Love it. Just love it. Oh God.
All right. Example lineup for everybody. Dylan Clemens has your playbook out already. You can get us in the Discord. Obviously, we'll be back every night. We do the pregame show, record in the morning for you all, and then we come back here at 5 o'clock Eastern time to get you ready with all the latest news and updates. One final time. Today's Pick'em contest is free to play. So go to fantasy.com/pick'em or scan the QR code. They're going to give you $10 anyways when you sign up and confirm your account, and it is completely free to play tonight. Right now we are up to 23 entries, so I challenge all of you to get in there. The more of you that sign up, the bigger the prize pool for tonight's contest here. So go check it out. Better Edge Pick'em. We're in there every day doing these Pick'em contests, and of course March Madness right around the corner. We're going to have some bracket contests over there. So why not get $10 free so you can use that money towards future contest entries? FantasyAlarm.com/pick'em or scan the QR code there today to sign up. No credit card needed. James and I will be around. Find us on Twitter. Get us in the Discord. We'll be back tomorrow. Good luck, everybody.